Thanks for joining the Snapshot for today, July 20th, Monday. We had a wonderful service on Sunday. If you were not able to attend because you were afraid of the heat and humidity, you can watch the service online at the church's webpage on the video link. Well, today is the anniversary of the Women's Rights Convention at Seneca Falls, New York in 1848, a very historic event in that it was the beginning of the women's suffrage movement, which came to fruition finally with the right to vote in 1920. Elizabeth Cady Stanton was the prime mover behind the Women's Rights Convention, though it was attended by several others, including a founding group of Quakers who were always at the forefront of abolition, human rights, and especially women's rights. The 300 women attended. The only man of African-American heritage who attended was none other than Frederick Douglass, and there were a few other men. The rest were all women. They passed a Declaration of Sentiments modeled on the Declaration of Independence. For example, instead of saying we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, they said that all men and women are created equal. There were several planks in the Declaration of Sentiments, including property rights for women, child custody for women in the event of divorce, and importantly, the right to vote. The women were roundly mocked for having this plank, resolution number 9. They were criticized heavily in the press, so heavily that several attenders at that convention renounced that particular plank, but it stayed. And after 70 years, finally, that suffrage movement came to fruition with the right to vote being passed in the House in 1918 by one vote, and then ratified by the state of Tennessee finally as the 36th state in 1920. Several Western states had already had states' rights to vote for women, but nationally it occurred in 1920. Hard to believe my mom was born in an era when women didn't have the right to vote. It was just 100 years ago. Hard to believe that it took that long. Well, Elizabeth Cady Stanton was brilliant in many ways. She also wrote a nonfiction book called The Women's Bible, which gave a commentary on the Bible, especially about the fact that many of the translations put women in a bad light. And she used as her source Greek. She was fluent in Greek as well as in political movement and social movements. She learned her Greek from her pastor. Don't come to me for that. Let's conclude with this hymn. Bind us together, Lord. Bind us together with cords that cannot be broken. Bind us together, Lord. Bind us together in love. You are the family of God. You are the promise divine. You are God's chosen desire. You are the glorious new wine. Bind us together in love. God bless you. Have a great day.